All right, so a lot of you asked me about this Wizard Liz or whatever situation. I have no context running into this, so I'm just going to do this off the cuff and give my take on this. If there's more videos you guys want me to see for context, just put it in the content request channel. But let's get this started. This is Jennifer Nguyen's take.
Wizard Liz just posted that she was cheated on by her fiance Landon. Well, her now ex-fiance, the Wizard Liz, out of all people, she is 4 months pregnant, and she just posted her baby gender reveal a few days ago, saying life can change fast once you decide what exactly you want. Like, oh my gosh. So she exposes Landon on her Instagram story, saying, "Funny how my intuition was screaming at me in this video. Thank God what I found out today. I've been through worse in my life. This will most definitely not break me. Women, choose yourself and walk away."
So first of all, the biggest red flag ever is whenever girls post public videos about their intimate relationship details. Out of respect, of course, regardless of what happened in the scenario, the first thing you got to do is address the issue internally. Once all the internal details are handled, then after making a public statement is totally fair. But if you're posting intimate details as it's happening, you have more of a responsibility to your audience or to yourself than you do to the relationship, and you're just seeking validation. This goes on both fronts, of course. If you're a guy with the following and your girl does some crazy shit to you, the last thing you should do is go straight to social media and talk about it. It's just pathetic behavior. But anyway.
From the first time. And she talks about how she found out Landon cheated on her, saying Landon decided to make a Snapchat account and reach out to a girl to meet up. He was just with me in London, made a whole book about how much he loves me. Anyways, the girl reached out to me today and showed us evidence. He called the relationship fake. So Landon told the girl that his relationship was fake with Wizard Liz. "Oh, I'm 4 months pregnant." He says he's incredibly sorry, and honestly, I feel like I don't know him at all. "I feel stupid for ignoring the signs and dreams I had, even though I told him about, and he told me I was crazy." So she had a feeling he was cheating on her, and he shut it down. Ladies, trust your intuition. I'm absolutely heartbroken and shocked. My haters can go celebrate. Haha, so funny. I will always have the last laugh though. He lost everything and I gained everything, thank God. And that she's gonna sell her engagement ring that was $100,000 and donate the money to single moms. And she's asking people to not send Landon any hate, and that she still loves him, but she chooses herself. I still can't believe it. Out of all people, the Wizard Liz. I give up. Like, I give up on love.
I don't even know where to begin with all of this drama, honestly. It just sounds like the most typical failed Western relationship where people buy into this fantasy picture that will never exist in reality, and people become so attached to their egos and their ideals that they fail to see what the actual reality is right in front of their eyes. I do want to address a couple points here. She makes a statement, men want to lead the world but can't even control their lust. It's weak. Female projection at its finest. It's not that men can't control their lust. It's that they're choosing to not control their lust. This guy will come out after the fact and apologize, say all of these fake things, never address it at its core, never tell the actual truth. This was premeditated. He did every move hyper intentionally, not because he was caving to lust. It's because he made a conscious decision to go and sleep with this girl. It's that simple. After the fact, of course, he went through a bunch of mental gymnastics to try to alleviate himself of the guilt, obviously. But the truth is, this was completely premeditated. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was on a mission to do so. That's it. Do I ultimately think that this is good behavior? Obviously not. From an idealistic perspective, it's never going to be good behavior, ever. But the truth, of course, is that this situation is all about being hyper naive and appealing to idealism at every corner and not looking at the reality. This girl obviously bought into the nice guy finesse. This guy filled the girl's ego with all of the sweet nothings about how his whole life is about her and how he's obsessed with her. And of course, this girl bought into it because she was looking for ego fulfillment, not for true love. Now, obviously, it sounds bad to say that, and of course this girl is going to defend that because it suits her narrative to defend that behavior. Where was your feminine intuition when he was writing books about how much he loved you? The truth that she will never admit is that she probably felt it back then, but she was too consumed by the ego of being obsessed and fond over that she decided to just bulldoze past it. I talk about this concept all the time and how you should never trust nice guys because they're just dirty liars. Any guy that obsesses over a woman is not true to his nature. This example proves exactly what I talk about all the time. Masculine girls that care more about their ego and being fawned over and obsessed over will choose guys like this because they say all of these sweet nothings. It goes against the guy's instinct because guys aren't meant to be submissive to women. He then goes, finds another girl, does premeditated cheating, and then comes back online and says, I didn't mean to, I shouldn't have done it. Bro, just own up to the fact that you hated the dynamic, you didn't want it that way. Fess up and say, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I wanted to do it. It is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. People would hate you for sure, but at least they would respect you for having a backbone and not just lying about the whole scenario and playing this whole, oh, I didn't mean to, it just happened. It didn't just happen. It was premeditated. Just own up to the fact that you're a man, you did it bad, it is what it is. Maybe if you weren't so obsessed with appeasing this girl's ego to the point that you're willing to extend the lie so far, you never would have been in this position in the first place. And if you lost her, so what? Wasn't meant to be. Let her go find some other guy that will worship her the way that she wants to be worshipped. It's the typical Western relationship where they're both trying to appease some sort of fantasy and they're both doing a horrible job at it because the whole time it's happening, they're trying to address their social media following more than they're trying to address each other. It just doesn't make any sense. How about instead of focusing on the fantasy details so much like everybody else does in this climate, focus more on the real details about what you actually want and actually need, all right? This is just the typical childish relationship where people buy into fantasy. They really have no place having kids. Of course, people are going to do what they want anyways, but the truth is there's no sense of accountability at all. The fact that other people from the outside are coming in and trying to prop this lie up together, trying to be like, look, you guys are so perfect. It's so fantasy oriented. It's such bullshit. And everybody needs to just shut the fuck up. Stop trying so hard to project your Disney fantasy idealism into reality. It's so far removed from reality and basic human nature that it inevitably ends up in this position anyways. Whether it's from the guy's position trying to regain control over his life, or from the girl's position where she just falls out of love. To reiterate my disclaimer, I'm basing my opinion on the little bits and pieces of information that I have. The girl has 5 million followers. That guy has zero leverage in that relationship. Do I think it's good behavior what he did? Obviously not, especially not from an idealistic perspective. Am I surprised by the behavior? Not even slightly. As I talk about all the time, there's only a very specific male and female dynamic that actually works for the long term. Everything else essentially becomes cope or a ticking time bomb. In this situation, it was pretty much both. In order for this guy to have made this girl happy long term, he would have had to be subservient to her for the remainder of his life. And even then, it's questionable whether she would have stayed in love with him at all. Am I surprised that he went that far to affirm his love to her? Not even slightly. Even just a quick Google search of this guy already shows me he has a lot less than she does. On top of that, this guy seems like a hyper passive guy. Their relationship dynamic was completely the only people idealizing this relationship so hard was probably so many of her feminist 5 million followers that just wants to see her win in any way possible. Likely because she served as a beacon for their false ideology. I'm not going to make any further assumptions, but what I will say is that this Landon Nickerson guy seems very, very different from the alleged ex-boyfriends of this Wizard Liz chick. When I say different, I mean much more passive in nature, if you get what I'm trying to say. No matter how hard girls want to push this narrative that they can be bosses, we as men are internally allergic to dominant women. It's always been this way and it will always be this way, at least from the perspective of a long-term relationship. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check my links in the description below.